Good morning, grade 2s. Welcome to our online classes. I hope you guys are enjoying these classes because they are fun and you guys get to learn new things every day. Okay, so let us begin with today's work. What day is it today? Today is Thursday. Today is Thursday. What date is it today? The date today is March 19th, 2020. The date today is March 19th, 2020. Our objective for today is we will read our homework story, okay? We will read our story. You will see it just now. So, what will you need for today's lesson? You need just two things. Firstly, you need your pencil and your notebook. Yes, notebook. We have been using this word ever since we started our online learning. And I know that all of you know that notebook is a compound word. And whenever we see compound words, what do? We put a rectangle around compound words, okay? We put a rectangle around compound words. And remember how we do it? We say note, glue, book, notebook, okay? Note, glue, book, and we put those words together and we have notebook, okay? So those are the two things that you're going to need for today's lesson. So in front of you now, you have your story. This is a story that was part of your homework, okay? This was part of your homework. So I want us to read it and see if we all understand everything that's happening in this story. Okay. I will read and I want you guys to listen. Let's go. Chuck chips. Chuck chips away at a log. Chuck has chips on his chin. Chip, 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 Chuck. Chuck chats as he chips. Chuck chats with Chick. Chat, 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 Chuck. Chuck chops as he chips. Chuck chops with an axe. Chop, 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 Chuck. Chuck chips too much. Chuck quits. Chuck naps. Nap, 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 Chuck. Okay? Very interesting. Okay? This story is very interesting because it sounds like a rhyme and there are words that rhyme. There are words that rhyme in this story. So let's go back. Chuck chips. What is Chuck chips? Chuck chips is our title. Okay? This is our title. This is our title. It tells us what this story is going to talk about. Okay? It tells us what this story is going to talk about. Okay, I will read it one more time. From the top, you listen. Chuck chips. Chuck chips away at a log. Chuck has chips on his chin. Chip, 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 Chuck. Chuck chats as he chips. Chuck chats with Chick. Chat, 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 chat. Chuck chops as he chips. Chuck chops with an axe. Chop, 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 Chuck. Chuck chips too much. Chuck quits. Chuck naps. Nap, 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 Chuck. Okay? Now, let us read it together. Or I will read and you will read after me. Okay? Let's go. Chuck chips away at a log. Your turn. Okay. Chuck has chips on his chin. Chip, 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 Chuck. Chuck chats as he chips. Chuck chats with Chick. Chat, 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 Chuck. Chuck chops as he chips. Chuck chops with an axe. Chop, 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 Chuck. Chuck chips too much. Chuck quits. Chuck naps. Nap, 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 Chuck. Okay, very good. Now let us read together. Chuck chips. Chuck chips away at a log. Chuck has chips on his chin. Chip, 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 Chuck. Chuck chats as he chips. Chuck chats with Chick. Chat, 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 chuck. Chuck chops as he chips. Chuck chops with an axe. Chop, 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 chuck. Chuck chips too much. Chuck quits. Chuck naps. Nap, 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 chuck. Okay, very interesting. Now let's read it together one more time because now we all are able to read it properly. Chuck chips. Chuck chips away at a log. Chuck has chips on his chin. Chip, 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 chuck. Chuck chats as he chips. Chuck chats with Chick. Chat, 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 chuck. Chuck chops as he chips. Chuck chops with an axe. Chop, 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 chuck. Chuck chips too much. Chuck quits. Chuck naps. Nap, 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 chuck. Okay? So, from this story, I have taken out all the words that rhyme. Okay? So, but before we do that, before we read those words, I want you to write today's date and the objective in your notebook. You have 1 minute. Okay, very good. Right, so these are our words. Okay, these are our words. Our first word is chip. Ch, ip, ch, ip. Okay, chip. Our second word is chin. Ch, in, ch, in, chin. Our third word is chick. Ch, ick, ch, ick, chick. Our fourth word is chop. Ch, up, ch, up, chop. Our fifth word is chat. Ch, at, ch, at, chat. And our last word is nap. N, app, n, app, nap. Okay, let us say it together. Chip, ch, ip, chip, chin, ch, in, ch, in, chin, chick, ch, ick, ch, ick, chick, chop, ch, up, ch, up, chop, chat, ch, at, ch, at, chat, nap, n, app, n, app. Okay, nap. Okay, let's read them one more time together. Let's start from the top. We will say it 3 times. Chip, chip, chip. Chin, chin, chin. Chick, chick, chick. Chop, chop, chop. Chat, chat, chat. Nap, nap, nap. Okay, now I will give you 2 minutes to say the English word and also read the Chinese translation. Okay, so you will say the English word chip and say the Chinese meaning. Chin, Chinese meaning. Chick, Chinese meaning. Chop, Chinese meaning. Chat, Chinese. Nap, Chinese. Okay, right, you have 1 minute. You may begin. Okay, very good. I know you guys are done. All right. So now we are going to write these words into our notebooks. Okay, we're going to write these words into our notebooks. Remember, we write each word how many times? 4 times. We write it 4 times. Miss Pume has done it for you. So you may write these words in your notebook. Okay? Our first word is chip. Second word, chin. Third word, chick. Fourth word, chop. Fifth, chat. And our last word is nap. Okay? So you are going to copy it exactly how I have done it. You have 5 minutes. Make sure that your writing is neat and space out your words properly. Okay? Don't forget to fold your notebooks, your page 4 times so that you get clean lines. You have less than a minute left. Okay, your time is up. Okay, so let us read our words together. Let's start from the top. 1, 2, 3, go. Chip, 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 chip. Chin, 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 chin. Chick, 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 chick. Chop, 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 chop. Chat, 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 chat. Nap, 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 nap. Okay, so these are our words for today. Okay, so now let us watch a fun video and please try to sing along to this song because it is fun.
Rock and learn!
Well, hello there.
Hello, hello!
Hey, I've got a question for you. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Well, that makes sense.
It certainly does.
You know, I've got a friend who's a woodchuck. His name's Chuck.
That's a good name for a woodchuck.
How much wood would a woodchuck named Chuck chuck if a woodchuck named Chuck could chuck wood?
How much wood would a woodchuck named Chuck chuck if a woodchuck named Chuck could chuck wood?
A woodchuck named Chuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck named Chuck could chuck if a woodchuck named Chuck could chuck wood.
Now that you mention it, I think I've seen Chuck driving around town.
Wow, I didn't know Chuck could drive. What kind of car does he have?
Oh, Chuck doesn't have a car. He drives a truck.
Uh-oh.
How much wood would a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck chuck if a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck could chuck wood?
How much wood would a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck chuck if a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck could chuck wood?
A woodchuck named Chuck in a truck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck could chuck. If a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck could chuck wood. Yep, there goes old Chuck now. Say, who is that in the truck with him?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's a duck.
This could get interesting.
How much wood would a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck with a duck chuck if a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck with a duck could chuck wood?
How much wood would a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck with a duck chuck if a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck with a duck could chuck wood?
A woodchuck named Chuck in a truck with a duck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck with a duck could chuck if a woodchuck named Chuck in a truck with a duck could chuck wood.
All right, now let's see if you can do it. I'll break it down nice and slow. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Nice! Now, sing it with us. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? A woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
I hope you guys enjoyed that funny sing along. Was it not fun? Yes, it was, especially when you tried to say the words, okay? They had a rhyme. All right, that brings us to the end of today's lesson. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I hope you guys are enjoying these classes. I miss you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.